Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your man Sean Zittel, still here out front around midnight at the T-Mobile Arena, right after Teofimo Lopez won this majority decision against Romero to become WBA welterweight champion. Let's get to it. This was a tense fight because the threat of the timing and the power of Romero wasn't a great fight, but it did have that climax moment in the fifth round. Big right hand counter over the top, hurts Teofimo, the worst we've ever seen him hurt in his career. But Teofimo Lopez bit down and showed real fighting spirit in the next several rounds, and I thought arguably won every round after that fifth round. I had him winning this fight 117, 111. I could see 116, 112. I didn't see 114, 114 like one judge had it. But right away, I got to give credit to Teo for that fighting spirit that Ryan Garcia didn't show last May. Once Ryan Garcia felt that power, the same power that hurt Teofimo in the fifth, he put his hands in his pocket. And that was it. And that allowed Rolly to dictate, fight at that nice, slow pace he likes fighting at these days, and clearly beat Ryan Garcia. But Teo wouldn't take no for an answer. And it was, the suspense of the fight was, Teo still falls in sometimes, athletic as he is, with his hands not held up high or really always in defensively responsible positions. So at any moment, it felt like he could be timed with another bomb, even as he was winning rounds, even as he was getting off first and taking the fight to Rolly, backing him up. But he never forgot his jab. And he told me on the channel 2 weeks ago, his left shoulder hurt so much from how many jabs he was throwing for this camp. And that jab allowed him to still be the dictator, allowed him to get off first, allowed him to push Romero back. The body shots were key for him in this fight. He kept punching underneath. He wasn't, and Rolly after the fight said, you know, his face was clean while Teo's was bruised up, but that's not how fights are scored. Teo's won a lot of fights bruised up. But the body work was successful over and over again. And that's how he hurt Romero back when they sparred 10 years ago. So even though they're different fighters to a degree, Rolly certainly is more different from 10 years ago than Teo is from 10 years ago. Teo's still doing a lot of the same things. He said in the post-fight everything you wanted to hear about there's still things I need to tighten up, there's still things I need to get better at. But, you know, he wanted this fight more. And Rolly turned me down for a question after the fight. And my question to him was going to be, why was his output so low? And we can only speculate as to that. And the shame of that really is whenever Rolly let his hands go and counterpunched often, I mean, he whiffed on a number of lead left hooks and things like that. He hurt Teo, or he got his attention, and he just wouldn't throw enough. And you wonder, did he not trust his chin enough? Is it a technical thing? I would suspect what it is he didn't want to give Teo the opportunity to counterpunch, which is what Teofimo does best. And even though Teo hasn't had a knockout since Pedro Campa in 2022, 2021, whenever that was, he, I think, can still punch because so many of his fights take this pattern. Sandor Martin likes to fight that way. He didn't fight like that against Alberto Puello. Jermaine Ortiz fights that way. He fought the same way against Keyshawn Davis. And Shakur Stevenson likes to fight that way too, and was successful with it, clearly beat him in January. And Romero, even with all his power, fought that way. They don't like to give Teofimo a lot to work off of in the pocket, because I still think he does have some power and he's an excellent counterpuncher. So they don't like to give him what he works off of best, and that's counterpunching in punching range in the pocket. So Rolly maybe didn't trust his chin a little bit, didn't want to risk getting knocked out himself, but I think he had opportunities to knock out Teofimo Lopez. Lopez, like I said, kept coming forward, sometimes falling in with his hands not always in good defensive position, but he wanted it more and had bigger balls than Ryan Garcia in May. Ryan Garcia is taller than him, he punches harder than him. One shot speed is faster than Teo. Teo's more comfortable putting combinations together. But that would be a really interesting unification. And I give credit to Shakur Stevenson. He needs to get a fight lined up. Teo lost, and he got a world title fight and a win since then. But I'm making a joke here because Shakur needs to get a fight in. But if his wins keep aging well every 3 weeks, like William Zepeda and Teofimo Lopez, then he could just keep talking shit about how good his wins he already has are for a while, because in 3 weeks' time, Teofimo Lopez and William Zepeda have become world champions after losing to him. So, you know, that deserves a nod. So after the fight, Rolly thought he got robbed. There was an irony to Rolly always being funny and making fun of the boxer style, and then trying to implement it, not as effective as the guys he'd make fun of, like Shakur and Devin and etc. And then saying, well, why can't I win the fight doing what they do best? And I totally grasp his argument. His face wasn't as marked up as Teofimo. He did hurt him a couple of times. He said he never really got hit clean. He got hit clean a few times. There was a good right hand over the top of his head, but he got outworked, and he got pushed back, and he got hit to the body consistently, and didn't let his hands go enough, and that's what lost him the fight. But it is a bit of irony that after years of being funny, degrading boxers, that he tried to outbox Teofimo Lopez, fell short doing it, and then cried foul. But he's awkward and dangerous. That combination he has now of patience, timing, and punching power. Again, it took balls for Teofimo to continue to press forward and take those chances, because he was taking chances and playing with fire. Around the 11th round, he got countered in the last 10 seconds of the 11th. He leapt into the shot and got countered and knocked off balance, but there was almost I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if I'm coming in and risking getting caught with another big shot. I'm gonna take that chance that you're not taking, and that was the heart of a champion to Teofimo Lopez, and what separated in large part the two fighters tonight. So it's a big bounce back win for Teofimo. His reputation was on the line tonight, and he came through. It's the first win of a 4-fight deal with DAZN. I asked him after the fight about fighting Ryan next, after he takes time to enjoy the birth of his second child. And he says he's not interested in any title defenses. He wants to get straight to undisputed with Devin Haney at the end. I love a fight between the winner of Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn. I would expect Ryan to win that fight, but we don't know. He can be inconsistent as well, and I don't think he's taking Conor Benn quite as serious as he was taking the Mario Barrios fight, when people like Terrence Crawford are questioning if that's going to backfire on him. We'll see next month at this arena. But I like that fight. Maybe Haney can unify with Paro, and we'll see what happens. But Teofimo still has a lot to work on, but I see maturity from him. And he was a class act in the post-fight. You know, he's angered a lot of fans for some of the racist things he was saying, the slurs and everything, and the certain off-color remarks in the last year or so. But tonight, I thought he was a class act in the post-fight, and sense a level of maturity from him, and that's encouraging for him going forward, and commend him for that. So, yeah, let's see. Anything else? That's about it. That's about all I got. Tune into the show tomorrow with me and Raheem, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.